Is it
Lovely.
like coronavirus related at all?
We are live.
Can you see
Nice.
you're watching then on Zoom? I've never done this before.
No
I
wait.
think it should be going now.
Yeah, I can see it.
Lovely.
Oh.
Streamception.
To do its thing. Oh, look at that. That's incredible. Okay. And then we'll just.
So are we live on Facebook or Instagram?
Yeah, it's on Facebook. Yeah, I just set up the screens and everything. Gallery view. There we are. Lovely. Look at that. That's technology, isn't it? Stunning.
Nice.
Oh.
One sec. All right. Okay. Let me just. I think that's good.
Oh. Reactions, participants.
This is a bit weird because I'm watching it on the on my phone. It's got
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to like make like streaming properly and also like try to be like aware of things. It's good. Last week when we did it with Adam, I'd had like a big chili and a load of beverages the night before, and yeah, I just felt like absolute just like a toilet. It was awful.
Brilliant.
It was really not good.
Right.
Okay.
Oh my god, right.
All right, wicked. I think that's all good now, isn't it? And then we'll just give it a couple of minutes, I guess.
Cool.
And then we'll.
Mm-hmm. Just don't talk about anything incriminating.
That's it. Yeah. Don't,
Keep it strung now, right?
you know, we've all been hanging around inside, not seeing people, and followed the strict rules, and that's what we've done.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I hope that's what we've done anyway. I don't know why I was implying that I haven't been doing that.
But he's like a slew zoom in on the face. Like,
Yeah.
oh, I have.
I bought this can from the shop here, Ethan.
Yeah. Let's have a look.
It's peanut butter porter, but it's Northern Monk. I'm really scared of what it's going to taste like. But
Sounds interesting. I'm enjoying some of
it sounds
Valinvol Celeste's finest
Brilliant.
ale. So
We
it's
have 8 people in the room right now.
big up.
Hello.
Hello. Hello,
Hey, peeps.
guests.
Oh, someone dropped out.
Welcome.
ah sad. It's because we said hello. They probably thought this was like a Big Brother type situation. It does look like Big Brother though, doesn't it?
Yeah, especially everything going on. Diary room experience.
All right, wicked. I think that's good to go. Okay, cool. All right, thank you guys for joining. Well, I would say Rich and Ethan, but it's just Ethan today. Unfortunately, his internet is not working. Yeah, safe, nice one. How we all doing?
Not bad, not bad.
Not bad, I think. Yeah, your hair, I can't get over your hair.
Who, mine? Or Beb's or Zach's?
Are you going to keep it like growing? Are you going to get like a haircut now? You're kind of allowed.
I mean, I'm mentally ready for a haircut. And I've been for the past few weeks, but I'm just gonna keep it going until like the hairdressers have like eased fully. I know it's like be a few weeks off now, but just for the sake of just being able to actually get an appointment and having a decent do rather than being in a hospital, like a shielded view kind of thing. I'm just gonna wait, I think. So if this keeps going and going, it goes down and becomes like a big massive lock, then I might keep it, but we'll see.
Yeah. It looks nice, man.
I'm just weird because I've not had it this long since I was like 5 or 6. I used to have like really like mullety blonde hair when I was like growing up, and then it just became dark. So it's going back to that level now. It's weird.
Nigel Babin has entered the room.
Oh god, here he is. Like the running joke with my dad has been like he's been trying to tell me to get a haircut and get a shave. So he's gonna spam the comments now. He's like, get a shave, but
get a job, you hippie.
Brilliant. On that note, I had to crack up with the can.
Nice, yeah. All right. Well, I was hoping to chat to you guys first. We'll talk about like how you guys formed as a band initially, then, because you've been friends for years. Didn't you try out for like a band with Bev first, Katie, as like a singer when you were like 14 or something?
So I didn't get in the band, and it's something that I completely hold against Lee and Bevan to this day. Yeah, there's a pic. I can't believe that there's a picture. I was so nervous. I had this like wicked tie-dye cardigan on that I still can't find, and I'm like, just ballsy. But I remember like, what did I sing? I sang Dolly Parton to audition.
Yeah, you sang Jolene.
Jolene, that's such a jam.
It's so great.
But
I think it's still got like the audition somewhere on recording as well. Like, there's a hard drive somewhere deep in my house where that still exists.
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. Oh my God. No, I remember like I liked the song because it was on an episode of 90210 at the
Great
time.
show. Love it.
And like Adriana like started like getting in a band and stuff, and I think I like kind of was inspired by 90210. But yeah. Couple of years
That just captures 2009/2010 perfectly, doesn't it? 90210.
Yeah.
That's brilliant.
So how did you go from, auditioning with Jolene and getting turned down to ended up performing later then as a different band, I suppose?
Well, I think like at the time, what I did is I went like and did like loads of musical theatre stuff because I was really into musical theatre, and so I definitely wasn't very cool at the time. I was quite like glad in a way, Bev, that you didn't take this on, because I probably would have like kind of but I went from that to, I don't know, I think it was like a couple of years later when Bev and that was doing like all of his band stuff. I slid into your DMs, didn't I, Bev?
Yes, you did. It was like, May 2015. At that point, Zach and I were still looking for like a third member to join the band. We were perfectly looking for just a singer to get involved, so then I wouldn't have to play my awful versions of harmonies.
Nice.
And then it just happened to be that after us trying to find somebody and failing ourselves, posting in Cardiff in music shops, you just happen to be like, I want to start a music project. It's like, I got a vacancy.
We very nearly became a two-piece where me and Bev were going to share the vocals between us, and it would have just been some weird math rock niche band.
Can you imagine how unsuccessful we would have been? It would have been terrible.
It's weird just because like, I don't know, people have come up to me and been like, how do you get into like music and stuff? And I'm just like, just go and jam with your mates. And I'm like, nah, actually it was complete like circumstance that I ended up in a band with Zach and Bev. I remember like turning up and then Bev said something along the lines of, no, we only need a bass, and you don't want the stage to be too crowded.
Yeah.
So COVID come in.
Yeah, you saw COVID.
We got 2 meters.
Very insightful.
Yeah.
So then you guys were playing together or practicing together how long before you got into audition for the Battle of the Bands in the Eisteddfod?
That was a year and a bit, I think.
Just under a year, maybe.
Yeah, because like our first actual gig was mid-June, and that was Pouty Ponty. And then we had like some gigs in Cardiff in the area leading up to about March. But then you got us a gig then in Cardiff in club.
Yeah, so I was working in Club Iwerag Bach, and basically I was like bullying Stefan David for ages. And
nice.
I was quite relentless with it. Love and bless him. He gave us a gig, and then I think what happened in the gig, they were like, when those people from Radio Cymru there were like, okay, come on now, you need to try out for Battle of the Bands. And we were like, that is the plan.
Let's do it.
And then it was quite funny because like Steph was like, you were actually good.
Totally ready for us to tap.
Yeah.
I thought you were taking the piss, you're actually good. And I was like, yeah, thanks man. But
love Steph.
Yeah, it was like one of our targets at the time. Like in between us, we're very good at kind of having like small targets, like play a gig in club, like kind of do loads of stuff, and then work away at those targets. Like recently, one of our biggest targets was like being on a Spotify playlist, and lo and behold, it's taken us about 5 years to do it, but we've done it.
The Pits. Yeah, that's the one, isn't it? The Pit.
The pit.
The Pit. Chroma on The Pit.
I love it.
Hard rock.
Yeah. Sick. That's close. Nice, man.
But
Yeah, it's decent. I've listened. Well, I listened to the track, your track on there, and then looked through all the other bands, and I was like, it's a pretty big name there, so it's pretty fucking sick.
I sometimes put it on, and then I listen to all the bands that I'm hearing anyway, and then like our track comes on, and I'm a bit like,
yeah. Oh, that's nice, man. So, what was that like then, going from sort of like badgering people in, well, staff in club to get you a slot, and then moving on to, because you got the Mice B performance because of the Battle of the Band show and everything. That must have been pretty sick.
Yeah, I think like for us it was like the full way through the experience of doing ECDI, we never thought that we would win. Like we never thought that we would win, and we never took anything for granted. And I think like it was a massive confidence boost.
Yeah.
What you guys think, but
yeah, no, I agree. The competition was really strong that year, so I kind of went in. We were just like, we'll get what we can out of it. I mean, we're going to get a bit of promotion off ECDI anyway. So if we managed to get to the final, we were like, bang in, this'll do. And then we won it, and we were like, oh my god, because we didn't even plan to stay. I think we only had tickets for the Eisteddfod for that one day, and then when we won, we had to get tickets then for the rest of the week, and we had nowhere to stay. So we had to bunk in with Elan Evans in the caravan site.
She sort of like that was amazing.
So we were going back and forth from Abergavenny to Pontypridd, and there was one night that I'd lost my glasses. So I had to wear my prescription. This was the same night that we played My Speed, so I probably looked like a right idiot. But I had my prescription sunglasses on the whole time because I needed to see. And as the sun kind of went down, I needed to keep them on because I couldn't see otherwise. But people were kind of just looking at me just like, who the hell does this guy think he is?
Yeah.
Home, we'd gone back to grab some more supplies, but
I was kind of the shift anyway because I was like working at the time because like kind of uni was like out and stuff. And I remember I was like meant to finish work in this awful kind of like, it wasn't awful, it was just like kind of like a festival cafe type situation. I just quit. I'm not doing anything. I'm a rock star.
Class.
Great, man. Oh, nice. So you went on after winning the Eisteddfod. It wasn't long after then that you guys got on the BBC introducing at Reading and Leeds, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it was the following year.
It was the following year, and
we played a lot of gigs that year.
Yeah, it was quite relentless, wasn't it? We were also on 40 for that year. I think that was like a massive like game changer for us because we'd just done Broider a Bandiau, and then straight off the back of that we started like, it was like starting school again, went and did like a project.
Nice.
They kind of like whipped us into shape. They were like, come on now,
get
together. And I think it was lush because I think like the biggest thing with the Forte project, it was just like the mentoring element of it. It was like having like a mum and dad being like, okay, you can do that, and like completely supportive, completely like inclusive, and also chatting to like other people who were like on the thing as well.
It was a good experience.
Nice. So did they help you get that slot with at Reading and Leeds? Was it they sort of like pushed you for that, or?
I think it helped. I think some of them. So every year, BBC Introducing have got every region has got their own little boards, and they put bands forward. But I think ultimately it's BBC Introducing's decision. So I think Spike from Forte was on the board that year. Bethan Alvin was on the board. Hugh Stevens was on that board. and they'd put us forward for it. And I'm not sure who made the final decision, but I think it was a collective effort between a lot of different people, which, you know, we're very appreciative for.
Nice, yeah.
Doing one from Radio Cymru as well.
Yeah, I think Doin was on that board.
I think it was like initially like Radio Cymru had us and put us forward, and then after, you know, they kind of went to the second stage and that, and we're like so thankful for that opportunity. But like again, it was like one of those things that, oh yeah, we want to play Reading Leeds. That's like visualize it. Oh, that's what we want to do. That's one of our kind of targets.
Yeah.
Mental quick how that happened. I think like like now I kind of look back on it and it was an amazing experience. But I kind of think, oh God, was I ready for that? Like,
oh, definitely you were not ready for that.
Like I just graduated I had just graduated uni, and it was just like that mad summer where you're like, oh my God, I'm gonna have to find a job, I'm gonna have to do this. And I started working and stuff, and then I was just like started the job and I was like, I'm gonna have to have like 2 weeks off, sorry. Or what?
Yeah, I can't come in.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a tough weekend, like, but I wouldn't change it for the world. I don't know about you two, but it was bloody hot, wasn't it? Like
it was hot. I couldn't. It was a bit of a weird, not a weird year, but it was a really busy year, because I remember, I think I'd just turned 18.
Right.
Yeah. This is going back a couple of years now, but I just turned 18.
Young boy.
Yeah.
Young boy.
Yeah. And then we had those string of gigs, and we did the Young People's Village, which is at the Royal Welsh, which if you've ever been to the Young People's Village, it is something else. It
looks mad.
Stage that they put in that's probably the size of like one of the biggest stages at Reading Festival.
Yeah.
And they just plonk you in it. And then all of the farmers' children from Wales just all go this massive.
You'll have like 1 week off in a year and they go mad. I've never seen it.
There was behind where we were camping backstage, in the next field over where most people were camping.
Right.
There was this group of people that had converted a tractor into this like big slide with speakers, and there was the top, and from like 8 a.m. in the morning they were just blasting tunes, just swigging, going down the slide, and there was just this massive festival tent next to it. It was well weird.
Yeah,
sounds crazy.
It's because I remember that year as well. We did like a little recap at the end of the year, didn't we? Saying like thanks for all the people who came to the gigs, and we had about like 42 slides on it, and they were all individual shows. It was insane.
Yeah, and they were all public ones. I think we did a few commercial ones. Like we played the Swaylack Stadium that year as well at a who was it? Was it an Admiral Insurance staff?
Yeah, it was a summer do, wasn't it?
That sounds wild. Just like an Admiral staff party, like.
Yeah,
we had some covers in there. It was so weird.
Class.
That used to come to our gigs, or still does. I haven't seen them in a while. But they recently, I say recently, at the time they'd recently got married, and they both worked at Admiral, and they saw us at club, I think.
Okay.
And then they were in charge of the staff too, so they were like, if you learn like a couple of covers that we ask you to learn, could you do like a 2.5 hour slot with like a break in the middle?
Yeah.
So we were like, yeah, cool, why not? So we rocked up to the Swayleg Stadium in Cardiff. And we went in and we set up and everything, and we played, I think it was an hour and a half at first, of like loads of like Arctic Monkeys and just really weird covers for us anyway. We had a bit of a break. We did another hour, and I think afterwards the only people in the whole staff do that enjoyed that were the two people that booked us.
Excellent.
A little bit, something a little bit more commercial.
When's the DJ gonna play? When's the DJ?
Yeah.
Whoa.
No.
Yeah.
Respect for people who are like in cover bands and stuff, like genuine.
Yeah.
It's hard going, flipping out.
Yeah,
sure,
it's hard to please that audience.
Yeah. Especially if it's like a staff party and people are sort of like maybe a little bit on edge because they're like with people they don't normally drink around and stuff like that, and they're having a few more drinks than they might normally do. Like,
and then we rock up and we're like, we're Chroma and we're going to play you some punk rock.
Yeah.
Park life.
Class, yeah. Park life. Nice, man.
Don't like the monkeys, I don't care.
Nice.
Anyway, sorry, Finn.
No, it's all good, man. It's all good. No, that was I didn't know you actually guys you played that Admiral staff party. That must have been That must have been pretty
So
wild.
weird.
Like, yeah.
Insurance brokers. I can't remember if it was Admiral specifically, but
Yeah.
It was Admiral.
It was
It
a
was.
staff party. It was a big one. That sounds good, man. And then I suppose after that, then how long was it that you? How long after that then was it you guys did the Maida Vale sessions, and how did you end up getting about that then?
this was a few years after. I think
Yeah, 2-year gap.
summer after we did all that Radio 1 stuff
Uh-huh.
in Swansea. And then that kind of led into the Maida Vale stuff that we did at the end of last year.
Right.
But yeah, Maida Vale was really cool. We got told off, went loaded in, because we kind of walked in and there was no one about. And
Right.
We found the studio we were in. We'd opened the fire exits that the van was parked next to. And we had a load of security come down and they were like, you need to have someone here. And Katie was stood at the door like, I am staying here. I am the guard of the door. And they just, they did not like that at all. They were like, no, had us at the doors.
You need a representative. Can't be
BBC.
doors.
We were off to a great start the second we arrived.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like 10 a.m. I think, and we drove down the day before, and I think like it was the worst hangover I've ever had in my life, and been stuck in a car. And I was like, oh my god, how am I gonna do this? Like I was fine by the next day. Like we smashed it, but it was a bit like Christmas, wasn't it?
Yeah. I think that night.
I think that the thing that saved. Sorry, go on.
I was just going to say that I think that night you two went earlier on in the afternoon the day before, and I was running a show in Cardiff Bay, so I pegged it from London at like 1 o'clock in the morning from Cardiff, and then got to London at about 3-4 a.m. and we were up at 7 to do our load-in at like 9-10 o'clock.
Yeah, it was like
bad move.
Yeah, it's mad because Katie had quite a nice simple day. We just drove up, got there, checked in the hotel, everything's good. We're like, pint? Aye, go on. So I walked down, mile down the road, got a pub, having food. Meanwhile, Zach's like working his ass off, driving down the M4.
Yeah.
Great.
I remember I got like a thing of going to like Marks and Spencer's, like whenever we're on if we hit the services and there's a Marks and Spencer's, and I just buy everything that I like.
Yeah. Remember that was great.
Situation. But we me and Bev watched some like weird like crime stuff on
yeah, love it. It's like Channel 5 documentary, wasn't
Warm up for the session, like
weirdest American horror stories.
Yeah. Sounds good. So how did you end up going then from, was it around about the same year you did like was it a series of shows in the Catalonian region, is that right? For like that's like a minority representative thing.
We did we went to Brittany in May last year, or might have been June. And we did Barcelona then. We did that Catalonia show in September.
Right.
Which we had to take our mate Arwell from Young Garbo over because Mr. Liam Bevan had booked to go and watch the Formula One.
Class.
It was all in stone. It was happening. It was dead. Yeah.
Where was the Formula One that year, Bev? Were you in like Korea or somewhere?
Mexico.
Of course. Anyway.
Oh no, was it? No, no, it wasn't Formula One. It was in Canada, wasn't I?
Oh yeah, no, you.
Nice.
Yeah.
I think I might have
Trotter.
the Formula One at the time.
I was thinking, my dad was like, "We got a gig in Canada." He's like, "Yeah, but the family trip in Canada. Like, you got that in September." I'm like, "Can I get out of it?" No.
Oh man, that sounds rough.
I think it'd be good to talk about the festival that we went to in Brittany before we move on to Catalonia. Because we did like a bit of a swap with so the festival that happens in Cardiff Castle every year, Tab Oil.
Yep.
They have like, I'm not sure what the deal is, but they have like a little like an exchange program where they send one band over and then they send from Brittany the band over to play Tab Oil. So we went over to Brittany first and we played 2 shows that weekend, and they were both amazing. We weren't expecting anything from it. We were kind of just like, we might get like 10 people show up. They might not have a clue what we're talking about because we're all speaking Welsh.
Yeah.
But it was really busy on both days actually, and the response we had was class, and people just loved it. And I think that there's something that we can take from the culture that we learned that weekend over here, especially in the United Kingdom, that they didn't care what language we were singing in or playing in or speaking.
Yeah.
They were literally just getting into it because they liked it.
As well, I think it was like a language that they couldn't understand, and they could recognise that we were playing in Welsh, and like Brittany, the festival was like a language festival. I can't pronounce it.
Gwyl Brettoneg or something.
Breathe Abergoneg.
2 seconds.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gwyl Breathe Abergoneg.
Apologies if anyone's watching from.
Oh, Brodel. That's it.
Gwyl Brodel ar Brettoneg. I think.
Yeah.
That's nice, man.
It was really lovely just to kind of like hang out, and their kind of pop stars were brilliant. Like they'd come up to you and like shake your hand and stuff, and be like, yeah, I was like, yeah,
Good job.
It's good because even like the stage hands and stuff. They're like one guy came up and he's like, "You guys are great. Do you want to try some of my beer?" I was like, "Yeah, go on."
Yeah.
So he just came along his own beer that he made himself. He's just like, "Oh, yeah, one each. Yeah, good. Well done."
Yeah, they fed us a lot of beer that weekend.
That sounds good.
It was really good. I loved how no one would actually ask my name either. They were always just like, "Oh, you battery." I think
You battery.
That's what they call drums out there.
Okay, yeah.
The whole time they were just like, "Your battery." They wouldn't call me anything else.
Yeah,
just
yeah.
Battery.
Yeah, nice.
Brilliant.
It's cool, man. Is it like, because obviously you guys you never really sort of like went fully into like a Welsh speaking band, like some Welsh bands do. They do like full Welsh, or it's quite, I wouldn't say uncommon, but normally I think you guys have got like that mix nicely of doing Welsh songs and English songs. Was that something you guys had to discuss a lot?
We do it our way.
Yeah.
I think when it comes to the Welsh songs, like especially with it's more Katie more than mine and Bev's decision. I mean, we'll all get in a room. If Katie has Welsh lyrics, then we'll put Welsh lyrics over what we think fits. If there are English lyrics, then we'll put English lyrics over. We don't sit down and we go, right, we need to write 5 Welsh songs and 5 English songs. It's just whatever flows.
I think it, like for us, because we're like kind of completely independent and kind of we kind of self-manage like ourselves, and we kind of self-release as well. I think like with a lot of like Welsh bands who are particularly like on a label, then they are kind of steered towards like doing like the Welsh album first, and then being more experimental like with the English songs and stuff with the next one, because it does make sense in a way, because you'll always have that kind of Welsh audience, and it's kind of good to start off with the Welsh thing. But I think for like us, like we're all from a kind of bilingual values-based background, and it's just like, I don't know, whatever kind of songs kind of come and like feel natural really. But like, yeah, we like to like a bit of a mix and matchy.
Yeah.
It's mad because like kind of considering the amount of time that we've been together, we've not like we've not like put out an album yet. But I think it's more like for us just kind of growing into our boots and making sure that when we do put it out, it's going to be good, and like it's not. We're not messing around with it.
yeah, of course. Yeah.
Last thing we've always said between all of us is we don't want to just bash out albums and albums and albums just for the sake of it. The thing that we put out, you only do your debut album once. What we put out for our debut, we want it to be solid. We want it to be true. We want people to look back at that. If in the future when we release more stuff, we want people to always look back at it and be like, right, no, that is a staple of them. That is their sound. That is everything that they stand for. I think too many bands fall into the category of thinking that they should just release, and then that kind of sometimes muddies their kind of path, because people think that they're looking at everything they've composed rather than what they want to push forward.
Yeah.
Nice.
And making like every song like work as well, because it's like by now I think we would have put out an album if we'd released every song that we've recorded and written. Like we would have an album and we would have put it out, but like we kind of between us made the cut. If there's like a couple of songs which are like, I'm not really feeling this, why are we pushing a horse that we don't like enjoy playing, and we we can do better.
Yeah.
Nice, man. Yeah. That actually brings us quite nicely then into what you guys had planned for this year, and obviously you did a post most recently with Head in Transit about how you sort of like had big plans and they sort of fell through because of, unfortunately, like things that are going on globally at the moment. Do you want to expand a bit more on all of that
Before
fun stuff?
I will say there's a couple of things that we can't talk about.
Okay, that's fine. Well, you
so,
know.
We'll go about it, and if
Yeah.
like,
Enigma. Yeah, nice.
Who wants to go? Katie, do you want to start us off?
I'm scared of the things that I'm not supposed to talk about now.
We should have established a blacklist, shouldn't we?
That's all we're going to say is that I hope that everybody's as excited as we are when we finally get to announce all this stuff. But for now.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm just gonna open another can.
Yeah, man. Do you think?
I think I'll just start with like the stuff that we've got out and like the reason why we kind of wanted to release Head in Transit. So basically, we had like loads of we had a bunch of really exciting festivals booked. We had Great Escape, we had like the Steadvod, we had like loads of stuff that we were really looking forward to. Oh, sorry, I got a bit. But yeah, we were going to release a single before the Great Escape Festival because there's a song that we recorded with Steph Pringle quite a while ago because, and just to kind of see what it was like to work with him, and he's amazing, and we were really happy with it, and we were kind of like, okay, we're going to do the video this week, and then we're going to do that week, and then it's going to be out on this day. And then
between Focus Wales and Great Escape and our headline show with you, Ethan, and Rich, if you're still here, would have been slap bang in the middle of that week. So we were going to release the single like the day before that, and we were going to launch all these really cool ideas with like local Cardiff people that we really love. That would have been so good, and it was so good. Amazing.
And then 2020 kicked in, and we were like, oh.
Lovely.
Right.
I think like everyone, like when it all kind of kicked off, didn't really realize the severity of it. I was just like, I'll be a month.
Yeah. Literally, man. I remember being like, it's kind of like a snow day. And then I was like, it's definitely not like a snow day.
No, that's it. Long story the whole time. Like me and my dad, like we were like they mentioned earlier about F1. We had a plan to go to Vietnam in April. And back in February when this was all kicking off, especially the Japanese cruise story that was going on at the time, and I was saying, "Are we gonna go to Vietnam?" He's like, "Yeah, I don't know. I don't see why not." It's gone. I'm like, well, you know, what if it spreads? It'd be fine.
It's not gonna spread.
and then March happens, and then Vietnam don't want us to go there, and we're like, okay, this ain't happening. That's how quickly happened. I guess that's the thing. No one saw it coming. I guess a lot of people saw it coming, but I guess this short-sighted UK position.
I think like at the end of it now, like having experienced the kind of full thing, I'm kind of scared of stuff like starting up again.
Wait till we get to winter when it gets a little bit colder, because the virus loves that. I'm not very optimistic about any of this going away anytime soon. I don't think anyone should jump on the gun and say
33 minutes in and we've got Zach's pessimism and conspiracy.
Here it is, people.
Here it is.
You know, strap in.
Anyway, back. So we were really excited. We were really excited about what was going to go down and like putting new music out there. And then it happened, and then we were just kind of like twiggling our thumbs really and being like, oh yeah, this might work out. And then like loads of festivals started to cancel and stuff, and we were just kind of like, okay, we're gonna sit on that and we're gonna wait until the time is right to put it out, because there's no point like dropping something when you don't think like it's a type of song that we want to be able to play live to an audience. And I think like that's to be able to kind of like do a good job of it and put it out the way that we wanted to, like that's, you know, we're not going to do justice to it. So we were just kind of like, okay, what are our options here? And I was like, why don't we just put out this track, Head in Transit, and we just kind of like went about getting it mixed again to go with the track that we intend to put out next. And just kind of piecing together like the artwork and stuff. And I really think like for me, like putting it all together and like piecing it all together and working together like remotely, it's just been a really good like lifeline like of something to do, particularly like when, you know, everything has gone to shit a bit, like particularly with the music industry, like being kind of work on that like with between us as a unit, and then just kind of like holding like each other's skills, and everyone's been really good. And so that's kind of where we're at the moment. Like we were working, like Beth Miller came into my garden in Cardiff and did like a photo shoot through the windows.
It's nice, man. It's a really nice picture.
Oh, thanks.
All of the images that Beth has done for her window portraits are absolutely stunning. And the second we saw that online, we were like, we can make this work. Hello.
Looks great. Looks really good, man.
I was like, Zach, do you think Beth Miller wouldn't mind doing a photo portrait of me with
in a window?
And then we were kind of like, we need to get the phone in there.
So it was good, man. It was cool.
Girl talk, and I was just like, have you got any of those old like phones that you use instead of your headphones that we can like have and just like spray paint it to whatever color we need to fit the branding for? He was like, yeah, that's fine. Just come and grab it. I've got one here that doesn't work somewhere.
Yeah.
So Katie went and picked it up. But if I can be brutally honest, the second we went into lockdown, I kind of just, my mind just kind of went into, do you know what? I don't care. I don't want to hear about anything. I don't want to think about anything. And for about a month and a half, I was just like, I don't care anymore. Everything that we built as a band, everything in my life, everything work-wise, I was just like, I am just completely done.
Yeah, I don't care. I don't give a shit. It's done.
It's on. We're back to this.
And the second that we started moving things along to the single, and as things progressed and like the marketing has started and things have started to go out, and afterwards, like I look back at some of the stuff that we've put out now online for Head in Transit, and I'm just like, I'm so glad that we put the single out, because otherwise...
It's a really
I
good
would
track.
probably still be in this position in my mind that I'm just like, do you know what? I'm done. I've had enough. I don't want it anymore.
I'm really proud of like the track. I remember when we recorded the track at the time, like I think it was like one of my favorite songs on that EP that we recorded, just because of that, like the lyrics in it, I was really proud of. And we were just kind of sitting on it, really. It was going to be like, we always knew that it was going to be on the album.
Yeah.
Good, like, but but I think personally, but Bev did a wicked job of the video as well. We kind of we were like, oh my god, we're gonna have to do a video, and then we were all like drunk on a Zoom chat.
Yeah, we had that. We were all just using those Facebook masks on the Facebook call more than we were actually speaking. But I just remember that we'd had a discussion in the group chat, and I'd kind of put this like storyboard together, and I'm a terrible artist as a drawer, right? And I just very badly drew all these things, and I was like, Beb, do you think you could do this?
Yeah.
And I was like, you're drunk, and maybe.
Yes. That's sick, man.
It's quite fun doing that as well, because it was a nice little project for me and my other half to get stuck into. Like all the handwriting you see in the video, she'd penned herself. Like we went through all the lyrics and did them together, and then she sent them over to me, and I just had play day basically just to put it all together. It came out really nicely for everyone. I think it reflected what the song's about.
Yeah, that's nice.
I like the concept of it, because like the kind of situation where like the kind of idea for the lyrics and the kind of the idea behind it or whatever, it came from like me like scribbling down stuff in call centers and doing weird drawing, and like kind of tied into that really well, and I really liked it. Just we just really enjoyed putting it together. That's the thing, we had like the time to like put our all into it, and I think like it's a good like reflection period, really. I think. I don't.
It's cool, man. I didn't realize until you put that single out. I'm not sure if you'd announced before, but you were like releasing this and potentially future things as sort of like, an independent, Don't Talk Over Me, is it?
Yeah. So
yeah. How did that come about?
So the last Welsh single that we put out,
Mm-hmm.
we were working with a record label who released Girls Talk and See Me in the Dark, Pop Ping. We kind of just said to them at the time, we were like, right, we've got about a month before the end of the year. We really want to put something out.
Yeah.
Will you have time to do it? And they just kind of said, we've got our other vinyl coming out, so I don't think we'll have time. So we kind of just went, okay, cool. So we set up this record label called Don't Talk Over Me Records.
Yeah.
Which is a really fun idea from all of us, actually. I think having that now that we can just kind of distribute and put out anything that we want to for the time being until the future, and unless anything changes, that we can literally just go, right, well, we've got these songs now. We don't need to go to anyone else and say, we need you to put this out for us. We can literally just do it ourselves is a lot more efficient.
It's nice, man.
Like, for us, like putting out the album, I think we do want to like work, because like the next step for us, like one of our targets would be like to work with like an established like record label, and whether that be like an indie label or just kind of the next step. So like for the actual album as a body of work, that's what we're kind of looking to do. But obviously when like everything is up in the air and people don't know what, you know, whether they're gonna be putting food on the table, really,
yeah,
like that, we're not gonna be like, oh, I just need to get signed. Like, yeah, it's like something like that, like, you know, is something that we're working towards, and it's kind of in the pipeline, and we know that's going to go on eventually. But like for now, I think like for us as a band, we've always thought that what's the point in kind of getting someone else to do that if we can just do it ourselves and be flexible, because sometimes you know when you're making the right decision. And
especially when you're working against other people's timescales as well, like a record label might have the next 8 months booked up with releases, and they might say, well, we can't put your song out for another 10 months. And at that point, we'd be in a situation where we're like, well, we need this out now.
Yeah.
Because like people do kind of forget about you, and like, you know, it is a business. Like at the end of the day, like it's kind of like, okay, you are kind of, I don't know. Sorry, I just burped.
It's all right, man. I've been holding them in. It's fine. Don't worry about it. You know, we're having a few beers. It's gaseous.
Just let it out, Heath. Just let it out.
You know, what is everyone drinking that's watching? If you're drinking anything, put it in the
hit us up in those comments.
Your beers.
Yeah. So speaking of comments, my dad's been commenting furiously, and he said hashtag have a shave, man. I'm still playing my 6 string and Glasgow 2021 ?
That's it. I mean, the important question.
It was really nice of Tom Robinson on Six Music to include us in his fantasy Glastonbury lineup last week.
Yeah,
I thought that was
great.
I think nice. Like, Glastonbury has been my dream since I was a little girl. So
it would be mad. It would be mad.
Yeah, it's like something that it's on the bucket list, definitely. Like, but you know, at the moment we're just kind of like working on the next thing, you know, like kind of the stuff that we were meant to finish off in I don't know when all of this kicked off, but like Glastonbury would be immense.
Yeah I mean, like if they let us accept it as we technically played it virtually via a BBC radio show, then I'll take it that we played.
yeah.
But also, I'm very much looking forward to the actual
one for the website.
When it comes to online marketing, that's the kind of stuff that I'll just grip onto and be like, we can use that. We can use it. We'll use it over and over
Asterisks, the quotations, inverted commas.
Yeah.
I was wondering as well, you guys talk a lot about like, you know, people you collaborated with, like getting the phone off of Girl Talk or with Beth, and how you guys sort of all bring your own like aspect, I suppose, of like industry knowledge, or like Bev, how you worked on the camera, and Zach doing stuff separately in event sides. Is that something that you think, like, how did that come about? Like you all sort of having different roles within the band, did it develop naturally, or do you want to expand on that, I guess? Do you know what I mean?
I guess it's something that's always been like an element of, I guess most of the bands have been in it, that people find their natural roles and positions within that. Like, you know, there might be the odd person like that chooses just to focus on playwriting, and other people then will take Facebook, some people take, you know, video content or messaging radio things. But I think we just have a nice balance between the three of us, between I guess, obviously with, the amount of different avenues that we have available to now in the, in the new decade of social media and stuff, that's where Zach and Katie come into it and sort of like, nail that, while I'm still the old ancient boy from 2003 trying to be both works. But then I can then supply the stuff that they use for these platforms. So then that's where I come in then with stuff. So I guess it's just, we all naturally have skills that cater to our third of the role.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm going to briefly interrupt and then we'll go back to what I was saying. But Fluff is saying that it's lovely to listen to us all, and she's drinking red wine.
Red wine. Nice.
This was
Cheers.
Cheers.
Friday night. Living the dream.
I've opened my peanut butter and jelly porter from Northern Monk. It's interesting.
Yeah. Nice. Sounds delicious. It also sounds like it's quite a big can, so like maybe a smaller portion would, you couldn't have it all night. It seems like that type of one,
Yeah, what's that, 45 mils, is it?
I don't know. I don't. It's 5.9%.
Yeah.
440 mil. Yeah.
Nice.
Delicious.
Nice.
Is there any? I think I'm still live on the thing. I haven't actually been hitting up with the comments. Was anyone looking to get involved? Any questions did we miss?
Drinking Heineken.
Heineken is a premium lager.
Ethan,
your premium beer.
Ready.
You are?
Ethan, your dinner is ready.
My dinner is ready.
Yeah.
Lovely.
We're still here, but Rowan says hello. Hello, Rowan.
What a sweetheart. That's nice. There we are. All right, wicked. I suppose the last things I was really hoping to get in with now then, I suppose moving forward, like post-COVID, what are your plans like beyond, apart from like album releases? Were you hoping to looking for like you mentioned getting signed, or were you quite content on being on your own label?
I think job number one would be to like actually get into the studio, because our studio got cancelled as well. That was like a massive kick in the teeth, and I was really depressed on like the week that we went to go to the studio. It was like in sunshine.
We had residency for a week that we were supposed to bash out most of the songs that we've written for the album, and the Festival Republic and PRSF have kindly paid for, which we've now had to reschedule. But obviously, because things are still up in the air and they've got different rules in England that we have over here in Wales. We don't know when we're going to be able to get into the studio to do that. And until we can get into the studio, then we probably won't be releasing anything new either, just because we don't want to start on that cycle until we've got everything else under wraps.
Yeah, and on top of that as well, we'll have to really warm back up again as well, because like Idols put it quite nicely as well in a post they did recently. They said when they were practicing, they sound more like an Idols cover band than they do themselves. And I think that's going to be a lot. Like there's going to be a lot of warm up to get back to that,
Yeah, it's mad that like we haven't practiced in like the longest time since we've been together, probably. Like it's been like 4 months and we haven't been in the same room as each other. Like kind of, that's mental. That's mad.
Yeah, I think the last time we were all in a room together officially was Valley Aid. That's how long ago we're talking.
That was like a tough gig just because it all started kicking off then, and people didn't some people did make it out, but like it was just kind of, you could see like Ghost Town, but
it's crazy.
Yeah, I haven't played my drums since then because I am unable to do so at home with my living conditions.
I started making like a country covers thing with my boyfriend just to kind of
sick.
Start releasing it.
Get out there.
It was pretty fun, to be fair. It was like new skills,
We'll catch up after this call and we'll talk strategies.
Country covers. That sounds class, man.
Such a new niche for 2020.
It's just I don't know, it's just a hobby, innit?
Nice.
But, I think like beyond that, I think like it's kind of given me time to kind of like think of like songs and stuff for the album and all of that stuff. But I haven't really put like pressure on myself to kind of write anything. Like if anything good comes, it comes. To be fair, like I have done basically nothing for the last 4 months apart from this country cover album thing that might come out with Christmas time.
Yeah.
Guys.
Think of that buns though.
Yeah, think of that cash. Nice.
It wouldn't be going to me because there's covers anyway, so I don't know.
Yes, but you'll have the PPL on it.
Yeah.
Yes, you will.
Recorded it.
Wicked.
Put it in a different key and change the melody ever so slightly, and then it's yours.
That's it.
Let's hope you don't get sued.
No, there's no chance. Big bucks all round.
I think we're just kind of like waiting to like get in and bloody practice, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
Obviously,
it's gonna take a while for us to get a little bit back to it, but I think the good thing is when we are allowed to meet up and be in the same room, distanced, and we're allowed to start things going again, I don't think we're going to be back playing gigs for a few months anyway before that point. So we'll have a little bit of time to get back to it, sort our heads out, finish all the songs that we need to record, and then hopefully then when we can go up to Leeds and record all the album, then we can just have everything ready and just go, right, smash it all out, and then we can come back with a clear plan and smash
targets.
2021.
Yeah, that sounds sick. All right, class. Well, big up, guys. I think that pretty much wraps it up, unless you wanted to shout anything. I don't know what this is, look up.
Just go to my OnlyFans.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we've asked this already, but if anyone's got any questions, now is the time to do so.
Get them in.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah, Q&A.
On our end.
That's it.
I'll just beat into the chase now before he says not shaving.
You can play football from Monday, just rehearse at Power League. Interesting.
Banging. Right.
Nice.
We'll meet at Power League and we'll set up. What is it? 5-a-side. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
We'll have to get another band.
Yeah.
We'll take half the pitch and they can take the other half.
yeah,
It's going to be great.
Yeah.
We can just do it there.
It have to be false hope, wouldn't it? Just to make up 10.
It would be. Or Brecher here. There's enough of them, isn't there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was I going to say? Just thank you to everyone who's like dreamed Head in Transit and like all the kind of love and support that's kind of come out about that. Like it means the world, like genuine.
Actually saved my mental health.
Yeah, it's a great track. So
crazy.
Thank you for releasing it, guys. It was really, really good.
Kept Chroma together for a little bit.
Oh god. Well, I mean, thank you so much for doing this with me tonight, guys. And sorry Rich couldn't join us, but we've had fun.
He's here in spirit.
Him. We've had fun without him, yeah, and he's here in spirit, yeah. Yeah, sick.
Yeah, thank you for everyone for tuning in as well.
Yeah, nice one, guys. Big up. Take it easy and enjoy your weekend.
What's that?
Okay.
Back where you started in the garage.
Back to your roots. Nice.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah, we're wicked. Cheers, guys. Ta-da. Bye.
What's that?
How do I turn this off? Oh, here we are. Stop live stream.
It's the big X button.